Welcome to the Down and Back. We're diving deep into the stories that matter. Let's get this show on the road. All right, welcome back, everyone. We're here live at the event. We've got some great matches lined up for you. The energy here is electric. Yeah, the crowd is really into it. Absolutely, they love it. What a roll. Oh my God, incredible. Unbelievable. Yes, keep it going. Wow.
Yeah, you know what it is. Turn it up. Feel that cornhole blitz. If you came to slide or you came to sack, welcome to the Down and Back.
Nice spot, huh? Cheers to that. Cheers.
Corn dog in the house.
I can't believe he hit that. That was unbelievable. What a shot. Incredible. Welcome to ACL headquarters. Let me show you how it's done. Right, what a shot. Unbelievable from downtown. Up and drained it. Wow. That's how you take over a game. He needs to hit the airmail to stay alive. Come on, you got this. No mistakes now. Execute the play. Stay alive.
Here we are with our Ontario. These names are too long, Michelle. ACL Ontario Inter Provincial Tournament coming up this weekend. Mitch is here. She's going to be playing in it. She's going to be my eye since I cannot be there for the event. But Mitch, welcome to the. This is like we do previews all the time now. I think it's expected. It's expected, I think.
Yeah, and I'm okay with that. It's funny that you mentioned the fact that these names are getting so much longer. I think every season they add another word into the title, right? It used to be just the Ontario Conference.
It used to be just the Central Conference.
Oh, yes.
And then we went to Ontario. As long as they don't start adding ACL Ontario Interprovincial Tournament presented by another 18 names, then I'm fine. Well, no, then I'm not fine. But this weekend, I think is shaping up to be a great weekend. I am going to. I got the call to go down to the show, but I kind of wanted to. This is one that and I can't even talk with Matt. It was like, if there's ever one that I didn't want to miss in Canada, it's going to be this one coming home, right?
Well, and that's literally it. They're bringing it home.
Yeah.
Right. So the fact that it's in KW, Dennis Paul was. I'm surprised the man didn't do cartwheels going down the room because he's been bugging for years to have it in Kitchener-Waterloo. So for those players who don't know, KW is where it all started.
Yep. Yeah. The first ACL tournament, we didn't know it was ACL at the time. Matt had already registered for ACL, but the first ACL tournament was 5 minutes that way.
Yep.
And now this weekend we are 5 minutes that way. Right, so I'm kind of right in the middle, from where we all started, and kind of going in. I was starting to have plans. Like, okay, yeah, I'm going out. I'm going to start filming some stuff outside of our first, or where we had our first tournament. I'm going to film where we had our first league, even though that's now something totally different. And that building to kind of go to maybe, and then kind of go to when we went to the Edelweiss, to then going to the auditorium parking lot in Kitchener. Where you got your start here with KW. Then we went to the Boston Pizza here, and then to where we are now at the Moose Lodge.
Moose Lodge.
But yeah, KW is kind of where it all started, and yeah, it's a coming home event, and I hate not being here for it, but such is life. It's when you have two vehicles go down in a month, you've got to do something. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, and we've got like a ton of teams. We've got over 80 doubles teams, which we're going to be talking about them, and some of the best of the best in Ontario. Some of the best, not me, the other ones that are going down to Cleveland. So I'm kind of hoping to be able to have them, be able to showcase them while I'm down there. But
and that's the thing. We do actually have a good number of folks going down from Ontario, right? I was talking to Mason Stewart a couple weeks ago on Good Friday at the regional up in Barrie, and I said to him, I said, okay, so you have provincials, and he said, no, I'm going to Cleveland. And I was like, just get it, buddy.
Yeah.
Get it. Show them what you're made of, right? So, but yeah, there's a number of them going down, and that's fantastic.
Well, I think we've always needed that to have some of our players just kind of test. I don't want to say maybe test the waters isn't the right term, but just kind of go down just to kind of face maybe some of that again maybe the wrong term, just the tougher competition, but just to kind of see where they stack up against some of those American players.
Well, that and the fact that, and I was talking to somebody about it on Thursday night at League because they asked what it's like playing in the States. And I said it's a different beast,
Yep.
quite honestly. The attitude is different, the atmosphere in the venue is different. You're gonna get some players that are super friendly, and you're gonna get other players that are just there to play. They're not
Mhm.
there to meet new people, they're not there to talk to anybody. They just want to throw bags.
Yep.
Right. So of course it comes off not douchey in a sense. It's just, that's all they want to do.
Yep.
Right. So, I've experienced it. You've experienced it. The very first time I walked into a US event was Nationals in Detroit. And I was thanking God that y'all were there, because I walked in going,
Oh,
whoa. Like, just right off the hop, you could just feel the
yeah.
atmosphere was completely different than what it is at home, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I had a production meeting last week there, and it's gonna be 109 sets of boards
Yeah.
at this event down in Cleveland, and that's 60 some less than what the last time we're supposed to be in Cleveland. So that's gonna be a big event. But I'm really looking forward to seeing Mason Stewart, especially him compete in the juniors tournament there, because the last couple big events I've had in the States, the juniors have been won by a player that no one had on their radar. Right? You look at what Jace Fleischer did last week,
Yeah.
the other week there in Wisconsin. I seen a lot of Mason Stewart in that, like when he had his big breakout. So hoping for big things for Mason this coming weekend. But we're here to talk about what's going on here on Canadian soil, and it, like I said, it's going to be a banger with the names that we have coming out, which I thought we may have had a little more, because it's the Inter Provincial. May have had some from Quebec kind of come in, but I think they may have a big event going on there this weekend as well. But we didn't have any. There's no one from Quebec that's coming in. Which,
No, and I was a little disappointed because I love seeing the Quebec crew. I really do. And I was looking forward to definitely seeing them in Newfoundland. But at the same time, it's kind of nice that it's still just Ontario coming home to KW. And I think this is one of our biggest ones.
oh, it totally is. And the other thing, and we talked off air about this as we were going through the list, is so many players. We were like, okay, who was that? That there's so many new players that are going to be at this event, maybe making their first time at a bigger tournament, which I think is the key for us growing in the province here.
Right. And we're looking at some players that we haven't seen in a while.
Nope.
Because they're Windsor. But then we're seeing players that coming from up north, coming from east.
Yep.
We've got everything.
Yep. So it's going to be a good weekend. And to start our stuff off here, we're going to go kind of talk about the women's division here. And I think here, the only one I think is not on the list because she's going to be down in Cleveland is Demi Cartwright of the big names that are usually at these events, right? So you're going to be seeing kind of the best of the best here for the women's competition.
Absolutely.
Right.
So, because I will miss Demi.
I think everyone will. I think I just lost the word. Like the pop-up dance parties will not be there without her there.
No, it's not the same. Mind you, we do have Simone.
Okay, yeah. Simone I think she could make up for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
But yeah, looking at the women's list here, I was kind of going down to the top because as everyone knows, when I do a preview like this, I'm not going to tell you who's going to win. It's who I think could have a good showing or who I would be watching for. Right? Because I'm never a big thing. It's like I'm putting the pressure on this person. This person's going to win. I never like that myself. So it's like some names just that you can look out for. One I'm looking for. Just kind of we've heard her name a lot, and we kind of talked about this. Is Jennifer Baker, because last year she was on fire, right? And I like to kind of see her get back to that form,
Right.
So there's that. Other one coming in from the eastern part of the province. Again, she took down women's in Edmonton, finished second in Quebec City, Maddie Shea. So I think first time people in this area here really get a look at her live play.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If they haven't been to the Opens, they're going to get to see Maddie play, right? And they're going to see what we've been talking about for months now.
Oh, for sure, yep. Then of course the other two that are always there, Dawn Cartwright and Lana Smith. Now I kind of talked with Lana. I think Lana's there was some issues in Edmonton, and we kind of talked about that in the live feed, and a lot of people noticed it. And in talking with Lana, it seems like everything is right, and that everything being right and okay is bad news for a lot of other players because she's going to be coming for it. Right?
Absolutely, yeah. No, she's definitely feeling better. But and it's funny because she has got to be one of the best examples, and the best in women's for consistency.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter whether she's been sick, how she's been feeling, nothing. Consistent.
Very much.
Right?
Yes. Yep. Then the next two people on the list are the two people that if you talk to them before the tournament, I'm not going to be throwing good. I'm not going to be here. Don't even put me on the live feed because I'm never going to be there. And then all of a sudden we're into a semifinal of a bracket, and there's Simone Davidek and Jody Naftel.
Absolutely,
like, all the time. Like just you're better than what you say you are. But
and always smiling.
Yes, I think. Simone, and we kind of talked about this off air too. Simone is one of those ones that the more fun she has, the less fun you have playing against her.
That's probably one of the best ways of putting it.
It's because once she starts having fun, it's not fun for you anymore because she gets in with the music and she's talking with people, and it's like any kind of nerves that she may have had just disappear. Right? And I think that is the best part of Simone. Of
absolutely.
Kind of being around her.
Absolutely. Right? I was partners with her back on Good Friday at the Barrie Regional, and I had an absolute blast playing with her.
Yeah. And then the other one on my list can be like Lana Smith, because in Edmonton, like Lana, this person said, I think may not go in singles because I'm not feeling well and I'm not gonna play well. Then, like Lana, finished fifth in her bracket for open singles tier 1, and that's you. Right? You're another one that says, nah, I'm not going to be good. BS.
But you know what? In Edmonton was a little on the rough side because that was the first Open I was back.
Yep.
That was 6 events in 3 days. Right. So I didn't know how my hand was going to hold up. And, we all know that it was pretty swollen by the end of the weekend.
Very much
and then by Monday it was black and blue. And I said to my surgeon, afterwards when I saw him, I said, like, listen, this is what happened. I went to Edmonton. I played for 3 days, played this many events, and my hand went black and blue. Like, is that something I need to expect? And he looked at me like I had 3 heads. And he said, I honestly was never expecting you to be able to play again. And I went, well, I'm glad you're telling me that now. Challenge accepted, obviously. But he said, that's probably the most intense physio I probably could have given it. right?
Mhm.
So, and then he asked, he goes, "Is it working well?" I said, "Yes, and it obviously is, right?" So, so yeah, so now I kind of have a rough idea as to what my hand's going to do, so I can kind of work with that, right?
But maybe that is kind of like the best medicine to kind of get it back is maybe you have to give it that good workout, right? To get it to do what you want it to do.
It well, absolutely. The only problem that I have now, it used to be that they had to stretch it open. Now my problem is actually closing it like this, putting my
Yeah.
thumb back to the rest of my hand, right? So it's an ongoing process, and by the time we hit nationals, I'll be a year of dealing with this
Mhm.
surgery, right? So
Yep.
but yeah, it should be a good time to play women's again. I enjoyed it in Edmonton. I didn't enjoy so much being on the broadcast court for my very first match back. I was like, "Welcome back, Mitch. Here you go on the
Yeah. Well,
broadcast court."
well, just why let it wait? Just get it over with right away.
You know what, and you know as well as I do. After the first couple times at some of I think my second Open ever in Niagara Falls, after being on the broadcast court, then it doesn't even phase me at this point, right? So I just go, okay, let's go on the Versa court. That's what I get excited about is playing on the Versa court.
I like when you said like you're back your second time in Niagara Falls. I was actually going to say next time not in an ambulance. But anyway, speaking of probably needing an ambulance, but you got the seniors up next. We were also going to be on Friday.
Right.
We named that I did not see in there, and I think he's taking some time off again. I think he's going to Florida. Is we do not have the king, Paul Vandendam, will not be here. Right?
He's one of my favorite people. But throwing against him can be intimidating. And I say intimidating because he is one of the best players,
Yep.
but his arms are as long as I am tall.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's hard to throw against that.
Oh, it is, and some people say that I've killed this joke, but try eating a butter tart in front of him while he's on the live feed. He's trying to concentrate, and then give me the dagger eyes because it's his last one that his wife had given me. So,
Oh, you know
yeah.
what? That's you're not there. He's not there. There's no butter tarts.
No butter tarts. Nope, unfortunately.
Damn it.
But we do have a stacked field regardless.
This field is hugely stacked.
Yes, with some top names that you probably already heard, and then some other names that can can be sneaky good as well. Right? Like there's Larry Bone he's been up there. He's been knocking on the door.
Yeah.
For about the last year, I've kind of his name's really been kind of getting in my ear. We got Jamie McCaffrey out of Nomad in Hamilton. Uncle Steve. You know that Steve James is going to be there, right? I'm going to skip the next guy on my list, just kind of bring him in on the bottom. Mike Stevenson out of the Windsor area. He did make the pro bracket in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, Mike is a phenomenal player.
Right. Scooter Burns. You know that he's like the opposite of Simone. The quieter he gets,
but they balance.
They do. And that's the scary part as well. But then these next two guys are some names that people outside of Ontario may not have heard of. I've got Steve Moreno, which he really came on my radar last year at a provincial tournament up in I believe we were in Stroud. When I first really got to kind of see him, and he was another guy who was like, oh, I'm not going to be good enough for the live feed court, and then he went on like 4 straight wins.
Yep.
There's Steve, and then another guy, a local guy, which quiet on the boards, quiet to talk to, that can just start on runs of bags, is Mike Pavia.
Absolutely, and it's funny because I've watched him play a number of times, obviously out of KW, but it's funny because he can be dead serious. Depends on who he's throwing against.
Yes.
right? Normally I can get them laughing because usually there's one of us who pulls some Harry Potter bleep out of our asses and make shots that shouldn't have been made, but they went. But he's another one. Yeah, if he gets on a run,
Look
it's
out.
hard to stop him.
Yep. So that's who I had on my list for the seniors. Did you have anyone else on your list?
So Rob Radar.
Okay, yeah, I did. I did kind of have a because he had a good tournament in Edmonton as well. Because he went to Edmonton.
Yeah, he did, and he made it through the qualifier. I've known him for the last couple of years now, throwing it a for a joke. A super nice guy, and another one who's sneaky. He comes out of the gate, you're not expecting it, and he'll run the bags.
Mm-hmm.
So, and same thing with Doug Martin, another one.
Yeah.
Yes, he's out of KW, but another sneaky one.
Yeah.
Right. So, and that's the thing, like you've got these players, and it doesn't matter what event, you've got these players that everyone knows who they are, knows what they can do, and then you get these ones that are kind of in the background, and they'll sneak their way in, and the next thing you know, you're like, whoa, where did he come from? Right.
Yep. For sure. Yep. And that's why I always love tournaments like this, is because, especially with because there's some people that are going to be coming here from or going to this tournament that are local here with KW that may not want to travel to some of these bigger tournaments away, right? Because they feel like that what, I'm not going to have a good showing. It's just going to be giving money, whatever, just to other people who are going to win it, whatever. But I'm not sure if it's a lack of confidence in themselves, thinking that, or just not wanting to be that. I don't want to play all that big competitive game. I'll do this tournament while it's in town, right? But it's just we've got like we said, like it's I've seen it here since we started in 2016, but we've got such great talent here locally.
Oh, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing that I get told by the players who don't want to do all the big tournaments is that they'll go to something like this that's close by just to see kind of where their skill level is overall, right? Because we all know you can go into league and you can smash it every week, but you go into a regional, a provincial, an open, and you walk away after going 0-2, going, what just happened? Right?
Yeah, I do that on league nights. So yeah, it's especially here. But yes. Then get to our other part of the first day on the Friday, which everything gets underway at 3:00 there, is the men's singles. This is another one that there is a bunch of great players and a lot of players that we don't get to see all that often. Which again, I hate that I'm going to be missing this because I would love to see those guys, right? But it's it's the guys that, and really a couple of them had great showings over in Michigan this weekend at the Canada-U.S. Challenge, which the U.S. did take their title back, but it's coming back to Canada in September, so we'll get our revenge back then. But I think top of the list here has to be Michael Klink Jr.
Absolutely. I got so excited when I saw this list.
Yep.
So excited. We haven't seen Mike in a while. And again, if you haven't seen him play, just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm. And then another guy we haven't seen in this area for a while, and I'm glad he's back on the pro circuit, and I've got to see him a couple times already this year. Gage McMillan. Right, he's back. He's back from school, and he's been very, very consistent. Right, so really kind of looking forward to see how his showing is going to be this weekend. And then the one is you and I have talked about him. I think every preview show we do, we mention this guy. Is Kevin D. Tomasis.
Absolutely.
A little upset that his dad's not on the list this time, but to see Kevin there.
Yeah, no, and that's Kevin's been consistently at all the big stuff this year, which has been great to see. And he's a hard opponent,
Oh,
right?
yes, very
So,
much.
and I have caught him a couple times during games that I've seen him play, where you can kind of tell that not necessarily frustrated, just maybe a little flustered. He had a bad
Yep.
end, whatever, and I can usually get him to crack a smile at that point,
Hmm.
right? Just to relax. So, but
Yeah, the one thing I've noticed with
phenomenal
him this
player.
year is that because his father David hasn't been around that much this year, some of his events. So it's great to see that he has been excelling because he always had David there. And I don't want
Right.
to say that his father was kind of like a safety blanket for him, like a comfort zone, but he's been able to step out of that comfort zone, and he has been able to keep that game at a top level, right?
Well,
Which I think is great.
and I think the fact that and you're absolutely right. It's not necessarily a safety blanket, but there's been a number of players, and you and I have talked about this. There's been a number of players that we've seen, especially this year, kind of come out of their comfort zone a little bit,
Yep.
right? They might be a little introverted, and now that they've gotten to know the regular faces at all the big events,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit they're a little bit more relaxed.
Yep. I think that is the perfect way to put it.
Not that their game has gotten relaxed,
No.
but they've gotten relaxed.
Speaking of relaxed, is the next guy on my list. Ultimate relax. Nyan Shaw.
Oh,
His clothing has been a little relaxed this year. I'm really not going to say I'm not disappointed. They don't have the bright colors and everything else, but his game has still been on point.
yeah, yeah. So Nyan and I had to play against each other in singles back in on Good Friday, and we're joking around because the winner of our game had to play Landon, and yeah, neither one of us wanted to really do that, and of course that made Landon laugh. So you always joke around about, oh, how long can we make the game last? We'll just
Yep.
keep watching on like fours, fives, and sixes. No, instead we're watching out on nines, tens, and 12. So, but Landon sat there. He sat there at the end of our court waiting for Diet and I to finish, and Diet and I just kept battling it out. And we both looked at him and went, yeah, neither one of us want to play you. Sorry, we're going to drag this out a little bit.
And knowing the Landon the little bit that I have got to know him here in the last year, he probably just smiled. I'm not sure if there would have been a word.
He smiled and giggled and went,
Yeah.
okay. Like, y'all just
I knew there wouldn't have been many
that's fine.
words. I knew there wouldn't have been many
Yeah.
words.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. But yeah, no, Nyan, another great player.
another guy on the list here as well is a guy that just seeing the results yesterday that come in from Nickel City had an amazing day up there is Eric Pearson. Right?
Eric's hot.
He got the win in singles, and I say he got the win. He got the double. He double dipped Lizette Lauren, which is something you got to put that one on a mantle because that's something not many people have done this year.
No.
Right? So
No, because Lizette's another player who we're going to miss
very
in
much.
women's. She's been on fire.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But Eric, I kind of like to see that he did get the win yesterday because I would like to just for me out of Eric, I like to see a little more consistency because he's had some really good outings, and then he's kind of dropped off at times. I would like to try and level that off.
Mm-hmm.
So so I think this weekend's going to be a big weekend for him. Anyone in men's singles?
Yeah.
Sorry?
No, who's next on your list?
On my list here is another one of the guys that we don't get to see often again, as we say, is another Clink. Because there's always like 82 of them at each tournament that you go to. Because we know that there's even the relatives, D. Tomas's, that are there as well. But is Josh Clink.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Getting to see him.
Yes.
And then Brandon Clink is there as well. But just you always know that going into a Kings League game, and we've even had a Kings League game of Clink Jr., Mike, and Josh playing against each other, right? And so
it's a battle.
it is. It is, and for being relatives, that goes out the window when they're playing against each other. The talking stops. It's on, and it's.
Mm-hmm.
I always kind of joke. It's like loser has to drive home because the other one gets to rest because they usually have like that 6-hour drive home, especially on the other side of Toronto, right? So
Right.
there's that, and then a guy who had a great weekend in Edmonton. Come up short in the tier 2 singles, though sat in the king seat, which I think was a big step for him. I think that was a something that he needed just for his confidence because he has been working so hard being Kyle Hill. And I think you've kind of seen him in more tournaments than I've been able to see because I haven't been able to get out that much. But just his confidence this year is kind of, he's really working it.
He is, but I don't know. He has a difference to his attitude this year. I don't think he's beating up on himself. If that makes any sense, as much, right? You know, he's learning how to let stuff go, which we all have to learn because we can all beat on ourselves, right? Especially if you're having a bad game or just a bad day. So he's learning how to, you know, if you get a bad end, you get a bad bag, you shake it off. I've definitely seen that difference in him. You know, he's been on point, and you can tell that he's definitely working that stuff.
Yep.
Right. So, you know, he's making good runs. That's for sure.
Yep. Yeah. So do you have anyone else on your list? From the
Let's
men's
see,
side?
Tony Neves out of KW. You know, he's especially the last year, there's been a huge increase in his play. He's gotten really good, and he's another one like Pavia and Martin. If he can get on that train, he will run those bags.
Well, yeah,
without a doubt.
He's another one that if you're to kind of look back at the KW Facebook, and seeing the pictures that Matt puts up from who's getting the finishes there, he's almost in there weekly.
Yeah.
Right. Like I remember when he first started coming out, he was, you know, in the list of overall standings. You've seen him creep up each season of KW. So I think it's big. And I know that he did take down one of the tiers last year in Stroud at the provincial. So I think that was a big thing for him, and I think he's going to come along this weekend again, kind of little home turf kind of thing, and it's I think he's going to do well as well.
Well, and that's it. And then the other two would be Mike Hammond.
Yep.
You know, Mike's another one where his game just keeps getting up and up and up and up and up, right? And fantastic guy, wicked sense of humor, right? Busts my chops every time he gets a chance, that's for sure. And then the last one is Kai Allen.
Yep.
Right? Another phenomenal player that, you know, Newcastle Cornhole. You know, he got that going. The Allen family, they're kind of like the Clinks. The Allen family all kind of travels together, right?
Yep.
So yeah, men's is gonna be. You're gonna miss a good battle, my friend.
I will be keeping an eye on it. I will be doing there because, although I think our broadcast starts about the same time that they start, so I'm gonna have that off on a laptop, just kind of watching that stuff. That's kind of it for what we're talking about from the Friday, because then after that on the Friday is then the blind draw later on the Friday night.
Well, we've also got juniors.
Oh, sorry, yeah, no, right. We do have juniors.
It's a small juniors.
It's a very small field.
But we still have juniors.
Yes.
So you've got Landon Shavira, you've got Mason Miller, Walker, I want to say Montague. I may have said that wrong. If I did, I'm sorry. And another Shavira is coming out.
Yeah.
We got Christian Shavira. And then we're
going to start having family competitions.
But that's the cool thing about this, is the fact that we're getting all these families that are coming out, and whether the kids play or not, the adults and the cousins and the brothers and the sisters, like they're all
Yep.
there,
Yep.
right? However, when you get into the bigger families, it'd be great if they had like a Bristol board on their table explaining how everyone is related.
Well, yeah. The only good thing about having all those big families there is that if they do make it to the broadcast court, I then get a crowd,
Yeah, that absolutely.
which helps that out.
Absolutely. And then rounding out juniors is a young man, Wesley Rapson. Wesley, I know this will be his first time coming out to a big tournament. So I wish him well as the rest of the juniors. Again, there's going to be some good games.
And I think all of the juniors are also a little glad that Mason has decided to go down south. Except maybe not Landon, because Landon's got the best of him the last couple times. But yeah, I think it is, as I hate that it's a smaller field, but it's still a chance for them to kind of just a little more reps in the game.
Yep.
Right. So.
Yep. So
like I said, then after all that, then the blind draw, the fun blind draw on the Friday night, and then you get to get up and do it all over again on Saturday Saturday's doubles.
Saturday is doubles, but I'm super excited that I get to play blind draw on Friday because I haven't played a blind draw all season.
Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to skip the doubles for right now. We're going to start talking about some more single stuff, and that will be on the Sunday morning.
Right.
Starting with tier 1. I love that we've got 5 tiers going for this year. As the tiers go down, and the other thing that I'm really liking is that as the tiers go down, there's less and less players in those tiers. Not that we're getting less players. That's not what making me happy but it's that we have a lot of people I'm seeing tier 1 who usually kind of go down in some of the lower brackets. And that I feel that they could make that step up. Right?
Well, so you and I both know from experience, when you're playing the upper level players, it makes your game better.
It does. Some of us. Why some of us just commentate. That's why some of us just commentate. But no, I love that we're getting more people that are taking the chance and stepping up to that higher level, because I think we're starting to kind of realize that if you want to do the gauntlet at nationals, if you want to possibly become a pro at some point, you've got to start stepping up and getting into those higher levels, right? So that's what I'm loving. And tier 1, we got some heavy hitters in tier 1.
Do we want to start with tier 5 first and then work our way up?
Well, yeah, you know what? That will be a good thing, because I kind of combined tier 4 and 5 together. I've just got a couple names, because a lot of names I really didn't know. I think we've got a lot of new leagues this year, kind of in close, and I believe a lot of their players are coming just to see the big tournament, what it's like.
Right.
And I think that's also, I think, a fantastic thing as well. Right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, for tier 4 and 5, I've just got a couple names down here for it that I was going to kind of be keeping an eye on. One is, as we talked about in the juniors, Christian Chavara.
Yep.
To see him, just kind of what he's like. Ken Gilroy, because Ken is TJ's father.
Mm-hmm.
He's one that when he does play singles, he's always right there at the end as well. No matter what he's at, he's always at the end. And then my other one is I call him the cornhole pokeroo, your husband, Mr. Sam Hunter, because yes, Sam is real. You will see him this weekend, but he's another guy that doesn't say much, but he can knock you down a peg or two as well.
He can be sneaky, and it's quite amusing because when he gets into that mode and everyone looks at me and I go, whoa, this has got nothing to do with me. It's not like learned by osmosis, right?
Yeah.
But it's funny because he and I don't normally talk about shots or strategy or anything like that. we just, when he comes with, it's just, let's play some cornhole and have a good
Yep.
time. And he actually asked me this week, he's like, so with a cut shot, and I went, whoa, where did this come from? What are we talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, and I guess what it is he's starting to look at the different ways people are playing in the sense of, do you cut or do you roll?
Mhm.
Right, in those types of scenarios. So because he knows that a lot of the Quebecers have mastered that roll shot. And he knows from watching Jamie Cowan.
Yep.
Jamie's like the king of the cut, right?
Mhm.
Where do you put that? So it's been interesting, and it's going to be a good weekend. So, but yeah, I love the fact that you call him the cornhole
Oh,
pokeroo.
because no one really knows who he is,
No,
right?
no, and we play together in Guelph now, and it's quite funny because my profile says Mitch H, and his says Sam Hunter, and a lot of people don't realize that we're actually husband and wife.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Well,
I'm okay
he's
with
also
that.
tall, and some people do miss him. So I think that's it. He fits the bill.
He does fit the bill. There's a couple of other people though on this list between 4 and 5, especially Don Draper.
Yeah.
Don,
Yep.
he went and did, I think it was a regional yesterday, because he was posting that he managed to win his tier in singles, which is another one. He's been another one that's been working on his game every
Mhm.
time he can get outside. Now that we've had ridiculous Mother Nature weather the last week or so, he's been taking his boards outside and working on this and working on that. His game has definitely gotten better. Who else do we have? There was another one on this list that I didn't. Bill Lamers, same thing,
Mm.
right? So it's gonna be interesting between tiers 4 and 5, and it's nice to see Jude because he's not listed on the juniors, but it's nice to know that he's gonna play singles on Sunday.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is great to see him just because he's like, when we kind of talked about this off air. He's one that he does work at his game, and there is that slow progression, and I think it's gonna be there, and I think he's still got a lot of years ahead of him,
Right,
right?
absolutely.
And you can already tell when you watch him play, he does kind of look and really thinks about he's out there playing chess. He's thinking about what shots he wants to do,
Yeah,
and kind of and he can hit the big shot because I was partnered with him back in Ottawa last year, for a swap, and he hit an almost and one to that we just lost by a point, but he's one that I think he's got a lot of years ahead of him that we're going to see, like, the best is yet to come for him.
oh, absolutely, and we know he can hit the big shots. We've seen him do it.
Yep.
And I think, yeah, he's definitely a strategic player.
Yep.
So, all right, going into tier 3.
Yes. Just we got the new guy out of Nomad. Kind of the first guy I have on my list is Dan Croft, who we've kind of seen Dan coming out around now for a couple years now, which I think probably will be representing Great Britain at some point with that accent he has to.
Yeah,
But
Dan's good people. He's done a really great job with Nomad,
yep.
and again, another sneaky good player,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
right? So who's next on your list there?
Then my next four on my list are kind of local KW players. Being another guy who can come up big as well is Curtis Grulick.
Yep.
Curtis Ken. Well, I say local because Chris Murphy kind of started coming out with us, and then once Revelry started up, he started getting there a bit more. But Chris Murphy is one guy on the boards as well that he can hit the big shots when needed as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then another guy who he kind of does our whole area. I think he's a traveling guy, and that is because he's bigger and he kind of scares me, so I have to talk about him. Is Mike Bourgeois.
He's bigger and he kind of scares me.
right? It's Mike is a guy that he can throw it to best of him as well. He's another guy that's going to say that I'm not that good. Mike, that's not true.
Well, and it's funny because he and I were joking about this on Thursday night. We were throwing against each other, and he came to the court shaking his head. And I said, really, like, we haven't even started and
Yeah.
you're already shaking your head. What's going on? He goes, you do this to me every time. We battle it out. You still hand me my ass, but every time, right? And again, yeah, we battle it out. And it's not battling it on 5s and 6s, it's battling out on 9s, 10s, and 12s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, he's a wickedly good player.
And then the last but not least on my list here for tier 3 is one that if the right music is playing, she's going to be very, very good, and that is Kylie Pohl.
Oh, absolutely. Kylie gets on that track. She will run bags, right?
Yeah, she has had my number a lot at a lot of KW League nights. Right, where I sometimes have to go the dirty tricks to try and get into the head a bit, but yeah, it's she's one that, again, the more fun she's having, the better she's going to play.
Yep, absolutely. Right? And I think the other two that I was looking at is Joe Borg.
Yep,
I've seen him at a number of stuff. Great player. I think he might make a good run in this one. And Brianna.
Yep.
Right. We got to see her in Edmonton. She came out to Edmonton. Another phenomenal player.
Mm-hmm. And she has been for a very long time. I think she's found her spot where she needs to be.
Yes.
Right. And there's times where I feel that she could make that step up, but she's found that comfort spot, and I think she's one that can still make those big shots and be consistent. Right? So.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so now we're going to go into tier 2.
Tier 2, yes, and I have a few names on here. Some we've already. I think some of these are names we're going to kind of start to go kind of doubling up on, but I've got tier 2. I got Brandon Klink. We've mentioned Kyle Hill, Doug Martin, Tony Neves, Jerry Allskill McGill is a name that kind of popped up on there as well, right? Another guy who's just he's really starting to creep up in there this year.
Yeah, Jerry's probably one of my favorite people at a Ford joke, and it's another one that comes up to the court. You're always joking around, whatnot, and I think some people underestimate him.
I think they do tremendously,
and that's the first mistake.
Yeah, because he'll joke about the all skill on the back of his jersey.
Yeah,
right, and kind of play that down, but it's there.
Yeah, no, he's on point.
Right. Then my other two names are local players, just because they piss me off. Being Dennis Paul, who's another guy who's like, oh, I'm not that good. Okay, I just do a 12. Oh, I didn't know I was gonna. Yeah, BS. You do it all the time, right? And he's an OG player. He was from the first KW league that we had here. Dennis and his partner did not finish first. Somebody else did in that league. They finished third, but no, Dennis is one of those great players as well. Right?
Yeah, Dennis. So I can honestly say, and Dennis knows this, that we joke about it all the time. He's one of the few people that gets under my skin, and he does it every time I have to play him.
Yeah. And he it's not an outward comment. It's just a sly little comment and a walk away.
Yep. He's cheeky like that.
And then the final one in tier 2, which I'm so happy to see him in tier 2, has been in KW, and I say this from the bottom of my heart. he has been the bane of my existence in KW because every time I play against him, I can't. It's like we kind of joke that that there's him and a couple other players that when they throw a bag, they don't have a care in the world. You don't know where it's going, but it's going to go in the hole. And that is Dave German. It's just
and he'll come out of the woodwork every now and again.
Yeah.
He'll play.
Doesn't talk. He looks like he's absolutely confused most times. He doesn't know where he's going. Oh, is this the board I'm supposed to be in? Okay, yeah, I'm going to bang 4 air mills. Oh, did I just do that? Oh, okay, yeah. Right? And I think I talk about it's I think he's one of the guys is that type of fun that we have at KW is why a lot of people come to KW is because yes, we have top players, but we also have fun there. Right? Is kind of been the main thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. And I think that's been a big thing this season for a lot of people is can we just, and we've talked about it on the show many times.
Yep.
You need to have an aspect of fun, right? So, without it, then why are you playing the game?
Exactly. Yeah. I always aspire at when I'm at KW to be tier 3 for the final bracket. Like it scared the heck out of me when I come back for my first time in like a year and I'm sitting second behind you. Although I did after I mentioned it, we both couldn't hit the board after that. But yeah, but it's just that era of fun that's in KW. But yeah.
Well, and it's funny because we get a lot of, and I've noticed especially over the course of the last month, we've gotten a lot of new players, new faces.
Yes.
And a good chunk of those new faces are people getting ready for trailer season, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they go, oh, I play at the trailer. I've never actually played in a league. I'm really sorry. Before you've even started the game, right?
Yep.
And I say to them, we all start somewhere. Every single person in that room, and it doesn't matter if you're here, if you're in Newcastle, Belleville, Windsor, wherever, we all started playing outside.
Yep.
Right? Whether it's at ball tournaments, trailer parks, buddy's place, whatever.
Yeah.
So, as long as you're having fun.
Yeah. I kind of joke with Matt when I was there because there was like half the people there I had never seen before. I was like, said to Matt, I was like, we got like a lot of new players out here. And he's like, actually, to them, you're the new guy because you haven't been
there.
Well, I was like, yeah, probably you're right. Yep. But like I did play against one person who was first time ever playing indoor cornhole, and that's what we need all of this year stuff to kind of build up to. But
right.
Speaking of building up to tier 1 singles, I've got about
tier 1
8 or 9 people on my list. Well, why don't we? Do you have your list? We'll go through your list here first.
So we have. When we got the list, we had 41 players in tier 1 singles, and I think it's going to get down to a gauntlet.
Oh, I have no doubt that it will.
So you've got Lana Smith, Nyan, Steve James, Scooter Burns. You've got the regular key players that are up in top 10, top 5 every event, right? But I think the ones to watch is going to be Chris Shire.
For sure.
He's coming back after having a hip replacement, and I can tell you after playing against him on Good Friday, he's back at it.
Well, even after having him on the show here, like the way that he talked after that, he was like he wasn't sure, but he was like, you know what, I'm ready for this. So
yeah, no, he's good to go. That was actually what he and I were joking around about Barry. I was like, yeah, you're fine. Your hip is just fine. Now that you've had it replaced, you're back. Because, he threw like 9 and change against me. I was like, yeah, you're fine. Who else do we got? We got Tara Lee.
Yeah.
Another phenomenal player. Rob
Which
Rader,
one of the ones I talked about with Tara. Just I kind of thought I'm glad that she's stepping up into that tier 1. Because I've found that she she's always let her not confident enough in her game keep her back.
Hmm.
Right? Like I've seen her absolutely annihilate Glenn McNutt on the boards, which is something that no one can really do, right? But she was nervous the whole time. And it's like, no, like just be confident in your throw because you are at that level.
And it's funny because she was my doubles partner in Edmonton,
Mm-hmm.
right? And when we were done the rounders, because I don't look at stats when we're playing, right? I find that I get in my head and then it's not good. Um, but when we were done and she said, "Oh, like let me look where we ended up in the standings after rounders." And she looked at me with this funny look on her face, and I said, "What?" She goes, "We're fifth out of 104." And I went, "Yes, because you are shooting fire." Like, right?
Yep.
So yeah, there's no doubt about it. TJ Gilroy,
Yep.
he's on a really good streak too. So it doesn't surprise me if he goes on a wicked run. Austin Lemieux,
Mm-hmm.
another one. Quiet, super sweet guy, but another sneaky one, right?
Yeah.
So
Again, like there's some of these names that you're saying there that I've kind of when I've talked to them, they're like, "Oh, I'm not at their level. I'm not like you are. Just play your game. Play your game."
well,
So
and that's it, right? That makes the difference. And then of course, it's great to have James Forbes back
mm-hmm.
after being injured last year with his arm. Who else do we got? We got some my doubles partner for regionals, Jason
Yeah.
Ashton,
And
right?
he took down a for a joke event here recently as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we won doubles, and then he went and took down singles,
yep.
right? So yeah, so he's been on a good run, and then Sean Murray is another one, right? That I think some people kind of underestimate Sean, and then they get up to the board and go, whoops, right? So who do you have on your list?
I've also got the guy that we already talked about that won the Nickel City yesterday, Eric Pearson. Again,
Yep,
I want to see that consistency out of him because I think it's there. Just kind of wanting to see it. Adam Amissen, he was like I said, he did make the pro bracket in Edmonton, which is not the first time that he's done that.
right.
So he's one guy to see. Landon Javier is there. James Finley, another guy. You see James having fun on the boards. Look out, Loretta, because he's coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's those guys, and then the guy we've already talked about, Mister Michael Klink Jr. There, and then I guess my other one on the list was great to see him stepping up here as well. Bruce Azur, because he's one
Oh,
guy that
absolutely.
and one guy I also noticed with him is if the Tragically Hip comes on the speakers and you start to see him sing and kind of move with the music,
Yeah, watch out.
you're done. Just
Yeah.
just throw the bags away. You're not going to win.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I have for him. So that's what we have for the tier 1 singles and the tier 1. That will be all on Sunday.
Right.
Now comes the doubles. And we had kind of talked about this off air. I've got 16 doubles teams here that I've kind of to have my eye on. And a lot of them are like, huh? Because I always find that at provincials and at tournaments like this, the regular teams aren't there. It's time for experimentation at times.
The regular teams aren't there, and it's interesting. I find, especially with events like this is where you see those people that have just been kind of sitting in the background that nobody really knows about. And by the time you walk away at the end of Sunday, a lot of people know about them.
Yeah.
Whether it's because of doubles, whether it's because of singles, doesn't matter. That's what happened to Chris Shire, right?
Yep.
Nobody really knew who Chris was.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went on one hell of a single streak, and that was it, right? And then everyone knew it. And that's what he said, because he's like, now I can't hide.
Yep.
And I was
And
like,
I
no, you
think
can't.
what I hope to not hear after this again is what we hear all the times after rounders is that, oh, we got these teams sandbagging in tier 2. No, they're not. Absolutely not. They are not. They do not want to be there. They want to be up in tier 1. We just have that many good teams that are now these players. Everyone steps up, right? And sure, the sandbagging might be there on some occasions, but it's not as prevalent as people think it is.
Well, see, and so I'll speak on the pro side of things. The one thing that I've noticed a lot lately is how are pros ending up in tier 2 and tier 3. That shouldn't happen, so on and so forth.
Yep.
Nobody with a pro title in front of their name wants to end up in tier 2, tier 3.
Not at all.
Right? But that may just be the way the day went.
Yeah.
If you get up to a court and you can't, get your stuff together, you're throwing like a dumpster fire, whatever, there could be 101 reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But what people have to remember when they get up to the court is whether that person's got a title of pro in front of their name or not, everybody is beatable.
Yep.
Right? And I had that issue on Tuesday throwing in Guelph. Last game of rounders, I get up to the court. I hadn't met my opponent yet. He comes up. I said, "Hi, I'm Mitch. We haven't met." And he goes, "Hi, I'm nervous." And I kind of giggle. I said, "Why are we nervous?" He goes, "Oh, I'm throwing against a pro." I said, "No, you're throwing against Michelle Hunter, who just wants to throw bags."
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let's just throw bags. Have a good time.
Yep.
And the way this guy threw, you thought he was throwing for his life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But he said, he goes, "Thank you, because that was probably the best game I've ever thrown."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I think the other thing that people have to realize is that we are getting, like 80, 100 teams at these events or more, right? There's only a certain number of spots in tier 1, only a certain number of spots in tier 2. And if we have, say 80 to 100 teams there and we're having 50 to 60 teams that are actually really, really good, some of those teams are not going to be tier 1. Somebody has to be tier 2. Right?
Well, here's the easiest way to put it. So on this list, we have 22 people throwing, 22 doubles teams throwing. At least one player on a doubles team is throwing over an 8. And that's not including anybody on the other side of the list.
Yep.
Right? You could go in there and be, let's say, average 6.5, 7, and all of a sudden just go on a streak.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've had it happen. You play so good in rounders, you end up in tier 1 and you go 0 for 2.
Yep.
Right? It could go either way, and that's the thing. Like, I get that it upsets some people when higher level players end up down in the lower tiers, but that's just sometimes how the cookie crumbles.
Exactly. So to get onto the teams that we do have mentioned, if we want, I can do one. You can do one of your teams off your list to kind of get
Sure.
to. Like I have 16 on my list here that I've kind of just plucked out, and not saying these are all going to be tier 1. Some of them could be tier 2. Not sure how many tiers Matt and Jeff are going to put them into. But one I have is a couple guys who we talked about. The one guy already before who's throwing well this year. Another guy who's always thrown well, and that is Kyle Hill and Scott Kenny. Scott's one of those guys that he's another one of those. It's those quiet guys you got to watch out for. Maybe I have to stop talking when I play. Maybe I might be better, but it's Scott can be right there as well.
Oh, absolutely. Both of those boys can run bags, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can make the hard shots. There's no doubt about it, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what they do on Saturday.
For sure, yep.
So, Kai Allen, Matty Shea, right?
Yeah.
There's a powerhouse team right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think they've been working really well together this season. So, it's going to be awesome to see what they do.
For sure, yep. Another team I have is I've heard so much about them from the from out of BK Cornhole is Larry Bone and John Piling.
Hmm.
I think they are both as a team, not only just singles, also as a team ready to have like a big breakout as well.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So, my turn, eh?
Yep,
Daryl Danilko, Jeff Colbert Jr., right?
yep.
They've won. I think they did a regional since January. They've won at least one regional. A really good team in the sense that their main two things are have fun and throw well,
Hmm.
right? So neither one of them gets stressed or agitated, and I think they work really well together.
And if Jeff's wearing his SpongeBob shoes,
Watch out.
yeah, look out.
Yeah.
Another one we've talked about both these guys here as a team. They are both can be really good as well, and that's Eric Person and Jamie McCaffrey. Oh, I almost lost the name there, but yeah, because I think they both can play well, and Jamie can really get in the driver's seat, not just behind a horse, but in playing cornhole as well. Right?
Yeah,
So,
no, Jamie is scary sometimes.
well, I
Absolutely
think
scary.
other people have to remember is he was one game away from getting his pro spot as well last year in Ottawa.
Hmm.
Right? So he's top right there as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Another team, Mike Stevenson, Ty Lucio. We haven't seen Ty in quite a while,
Nope.
right? But I know they've been playing over stateside.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Ty's another phenomenal player. Same thing with Mike, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see what those two do.
Yeah, and my next team here is the polar opposite team of Nyan Shaw, who's going to talk your ear off, and then someone who's not going to talk your ear off, Landon Shavira. They are both right. The Cannington Cornhole guys are that. Like I talked with Chris and I had him on the show. That league is just it's starting to produce some very good players, right?
Well,
So,
and they're living up to the Cannington cartel,
yep, for sure.
right?
Yep. So there, I'm not sure if Nyan's had a win yet in anything real big, but I could see them taking this one down.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting weekend watching those two play,
Mm-hmm.
right? So who else do we have here? Um, we've talked about them in singles, both of them, Dennis Paul and Curtis
Yep.
Burlick, right? I think that's going to be an awesome team.
And I think they did take down as a doubles a tier 2 or a tier 3, I think, at provincials last year at one of the events. So
Mhm.
they are a team that they can step up as well, right? And being on home turf, I think they have another chance to do that.
Oh, definitely.
Another team that's I'm not sure if they've partnered up before. This is the first time I've seen them on a list together. Kevin DeTomasis and Brett Castine.
I don't know if they've partnered up before. I don't recall seeing them partnered up before, but I think that's definitely going to be a heavy hitting team right there.
For sure. Just because Brett has thrown very consistent this year, and as well as Kevin has as well, as we've talked about. I think you may see them. I think I can almost call it they're going to be in tier 1, but I think I think you're going to probably see them around the top near the end.
Yeah. So, and then of course you've got a Clink team.
Yeah.
You've got Mike Clink Jr. and Brandon Clink.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think that's going to be, for me, because I'll be there, that'll be the fun part of watching some of the newer players who've never seen a lot of the higher level players that we've known for years,
Yep.
but they've never seen them because they haven't been around. So when you get into the Clinks and the D Tomasises, and you get into these bigger families, the Shavirs and stuff, it's quite amusing watching people's reaction when they first get to see them and then realize how big the families are, right?
Yep. Yep. I know that I will miss seeing Karen Sportelli in the live feed chat, because she's the one that kind of keeps all the people in Windsor up to date, saying you need to be watching now. But if you're wondering, you're always thinking that Mike Klink Jr. always plays with Josh, usually. That's because, well, they're not doing it this time. It's because Josh is playing with Tim Sanchi. There's a team that just come right out, and it's like, oh, another team that they're going to be there near the end, because Tim is a no nonsense guy on the boards as well. And I think knowing Josh, the way Josh is on the boards, I think they fit each other very, very well.
Oh, they do.
I think if you're going to want to see some very top play in cornhole, you're going to be want to watch this team.
Well, and it's funny because if you think about it, with the different people that we haven't seen in quite a while coming out to this event, it's kind of like a family reunion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So who else do we have here? I'm just scrolling. I had like names in my head, and then that's it. So I'm actually going to take a second in the sense of there are key teams that will be playing this weekend that you won't necessarily have to see them to know that they are in the building.
True.
Right?
Very true.
So, most people will say that you don't have to see me to know that I'm in the building because I'm a little on the louder side. You've got Kylie, you've got Shar,
Yep.
Shar, Jody, you're partnered up. Jody's a little on the quieter side. Shar, not so much. And then, of course, Nettie and Nettie Burgess and Jamie Grulich.
Well, yeah, you're going to be seeing Nettie and Jamie on a live feed court somewhere at some point on the weekend. Unfortunately, I won't have any control about that, but I think you will. But talking about Jody and Shar, they're another team that they're going to tell you that they're not very good, and they're lying to you, because they both can throw very well.
Oh, absolutely. The Shar and I both know that we cannot throw against each other because we end up dumpster fire because we're too busy having too much fun.
Yeah.
And it's not a good situation. But she's a lady that will throw lights out, and the same thing with Jody.
Mm-hmm. It just all depends where Jody's flying in from. Because there's times where she's in these lavish places to come back for cornhole.
Look, I partnered with her in North Carolina. She met me down there after flying from Mexico.
Yep.
Right?
Last year, Nationals, she left Hawaii to go to Ottawa.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of what she does.
Yeah.
But yeah. A team that I think is going to be, like we keep talking about these sneaky good teams, but they're there all the time. And this is the team that I'm going to probably think at an event like this could be first time pairing up, is Simone Davidek and Adam Mamisson.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great team.
I think so. They are going to be there.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing. Like, there's a bunch on this list that we know them separately, but they're partnered up for, say, the first time that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
That, you go, okay, is this going to work out well? Then you actually look at the players and you go, oh yeah, this is going to be a heavy hitting team. So doubles is going to be a gauntlet.
It will be. Like, because like we said, there's so many teams that kind of look like, oh, they're partnered up, being Gage McMillan, Justin Clark.
Yep.
They can both throw lights out, but this is the first time I think they've even paired up. Another one we talked about, Douglas Sharp. He's going to be paired up with Glenn Whitaker. Now, I'd seen Glenn first time a couple years ago at a juniors event, throw lights out. You got to kind of hang out with him more in Quebec City,
Quebec. Yeah.
but Glenn can be there, right? Throw at the best of him as well. He can get on the nervous side sometimes. I think he just needs to take a breath, take a pause, and I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
So who else is on your list?
So also on my list here is to look for Joe Butsky and Bruce Azur partnering up. I have Giancarlo Morelli and Tara Lee partnering up. So they're both Niagara area as well. How is it that we've got this long in our lists and we haven't mentioned Finley and Burns partnering up? I think the only pro team who's still together for this event.
Well, and I think it's partly because we go, well, it's Scooter and James.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. The local team that's partnered up, and we kind of talked about this off the air, Tony Neves and Bobby Rush.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a good team.
Because
I think that's...
Some people may know Tony, like because we talked about, but some people may know Tony from last year winning a tier, one of his tiers in singles at a provincial, but absolutely not. I'm going to say more not than do know anything about Bobby Rush.
Right.
So I know you got to see him there last week, and he's throwing a lot better. He's always kind of progressed, but threw very very well last Thursday night. So he could be one to watch out for. My last two teams here to mention, coming down from the north, Milan Saint Germain and Kelly Berry.
Yeah, I'm gonna love watching that team.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So both of them awesome players and awesome people off the boards.
Yep.
Right. So, but I think that's another team where they may be underestimated.
I think so. Yes. Right. Then my final team I have down here is yourself and your partner Jason Ashton. Just because you guys did take down a regional at For a Joke, and it is not a joke winning anything at one of their tournaments. So I think you guys could make some noise as well.
We're hoping to, right? It seems this is the first year that Jason and I have partnered up consistently, and it seems to work well. Neither one of us have really, I guess, gotten frustrated or gotten into our heads. The other one, and if you see the other one kind of go that way, we can usually pull each other out, which works phenomenally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we all know that you feed off your partner's energy. So
sure.
So we've managed to work out well as a team. Now my last team is, and I can't go without talking about them, Mr. Matt Plyle and Jeff Waterman.
We finally get to see Matt play at a big event. He's not just going to be sitting behind a table.
No, and I giggled when he first told me that they were partnering up, because Matt was my conference partner a couple of years ago throughout all the conferences. And I loved having him as a partner. And his mom used to laugh because Matt doesn't say a whole lot when he's playing. I am quite the opposite. We all know this.
Matt doesn't say a whole lot at any time.
Well, he does. Just
you have to really kind of corner him and really talk with him. But yeah,
right. But if he threw a bad end, I'd go whoopsie, and if I threw a bad end, I was saying way more than whoopsie. So of course she was laughing throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be awesome watching these two partner up. These two, who have been handling all of the ACL events as well as it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think a lot of fun.
I think it is going to be a lot of fun. Everything's going to get underway at noon at the Granite Club, 99 Seagram Drive in Waterloo. Starting off noon to 3 o'clock I think there's going to be some sit and goes or time if you want to warm up. Then starting at 3 o'clock, everything gets underway with the women's, juniors, seniors, men's singles. Then I believe it's 7 or 8 is going to be the blind draw.
Blind draw, yeah.
Then we've got doubles starting up at 9:30 on Saturday morning. And then that will go right through the day, ending in another, I think it's some sort of blind draw again at night. Or a
It's
swap.
crew cup.
Okay, crew
It's
cup.
a crew cup.
Yeah.
It's a crew cup.
If you're going to go there for one event, go for the crew cup because the performance-enhancing beverages flow, and so does everyone's game.
And I will add to that, if you are not playing crew cup, stay for the entertainment anyway.
Yes. Yes.
Right? I'm not playing in crew cup, but I'm staying for the entertainment.
You are going to see a bunch of people that are usually coordinated become uncoordinated and trying to remember
Very
when
much
to
so.
throw and when not to throw.
Yeah. Lots of laughs will be had.
Yes, and then singles then gets underway Tuesday morning at 9:30. So yeah, and that's gonna be another full day. If you're looking for food, there is a bunch of food in the area, but there is going to be food trucks available in the parking lot. So that will be good there. Just go and have some fun. Remember, you do not have to be participating to come and watch. And it's going to be a fun weekend of cornhole, and I'm absolutely gutted that I will not be there for it. So good luck to everyone participating. I know we'll come back on here the week after if I'm not exhausted enough already from cornhole to talk about it. We'll have you back on to talk about it after that, and all the lowdown, all the stuff that I missed.
I'll video call you.
I'm not doubting that some of the other people I'm with might not be video calling you very, very early in the morning. Yes. So
fair enough.
So good luck to you. Good luck to everyone throwing. I hope you all throw they'll throw great, have fun. Easy for me to say. Just know that I will be missing everybody because it's cornhole here in Ontario was fun. And remember, doubles, not everyone's going to get into tier 1 because we talked about almost a little over 30 some teams that you and I had just mentioned. There's only 80, so some of those teams we talked about are not going to make tier 1. So
right,
just go out and throw your bags. That's all you got to do is just having fun doing that. And again, thank you to all of the sponsors who are going to be going out that night. My sponsors here, we had East Coast Cornhole, JC Cornhole. Maybe Jamie might make an appearance. Or maybe there could be like a bus tour over to JC Cornhole to go and see Jamie.
Maybe
That's what you can all pile in the cars and
not a bad idea.
Just show up randomly. That's what everyone needs to do. Michelle will coordinate that, and we'll kind of do everything. But yeah, the JC Cornhole, Corn Dudes. Make sure you're all wearing your Corn Dudes this weekend, and then or maybe if you're not playing, Mitch will also do a bus trip up to Winging It in Paris. We'll leave it all up to her.
I love how you're just volunteering me for stuff. It's great.
I'm not there, so someone's got to do it. So that's what it is.
Fair enough.
So yeah, everyone have fun, and I will catch all of you from Cleveland. I think Donnie and I are going to be doing some stuff from there. Mitch, she has the keys to here, so she might be doing some stuff on here, possibly. Not sure. She might be busy winning stuff. Who knows? But thanks all for watching. Mitch, we're going to do a short show. Remember we talked about doing a short show? It's
never short.
We're an hour and a half in because that's just how it goes. But thanks everyone for watching, and just have fun playing, and don't worry about which tier you win because you're just going to have fun.